Hey guys, so yeah, no, in today's video, I'll be giving you guys my 2023 Rugby Championship team of the tournament. Before I do so, click the button, guys, and definitely subscribe to our channel, guys. We're getting ever closer towards that 1K mark, so let's make it happen. But as I said beforehand, New Zealand are victorious. That's kind of, congrats obviously towards them. I think actually when I made my prediction for this Rugby Championship, I actually did say New Zealand would come first. I said New Zealand first. I think I said South Africa second, Pumas third, and Wallabies, fourth. So I think I actually got it bang on. So happy with that one. But no, in terms of my team in the tournament here, we'll get straight into this. As you can see, this is the front row that I've selected here. I've gone with Ethan de Groot as my loose head, at least in terms of my prop there. For the hooker, I've gone with Malcolm Marks, and for my tight head, I've gone with Tyrell Lomax. So yeah, no, I think this is probably the best front row you can go with. I think you have to go with Ethan de Groot and Tyrell Lomax just because from a propping position, the All Blacks were just so dominant in terms of their scrum, and I think they probably had highest percentages, if I'm not mistaken. I think above the 90s, to what I recall in terms of scrum penalties. So I think they have to be the props for this, and I think I'm just very impressed by them because they're getting more minutes together now. I think that's kind of now being seen as, I guess, the first choice, I guess, props now for this Rugby World Cup. So yeah, I think overall they were very impressive throughout this Rugby Championship. So it has to be those two props. And then I guess the hooker position is pretty tough because there's not really a hooker in my opinion who really stood out. I mean, I don't think Malcolm Marks. I don't think I don't think Cody Taylor. I don't think. Who else? There's Julian Montoya or even Parecki from the Wallabies really stood out within this competition. Again, I guess it was really down towards Cody Taylor and Malcolm Marks, but I just felt Malcolm Marks was slightly better than Cody Taylor, and the reason for that is because I think you could really tell kind of the impact he made off that game when they faced obviously the All Blacks in the second round, and he got to try to obviously try at the end of the day, and it was kind of a big try actually because it kind of showcased how the Springboks are able to still kind of penetrate the All Black defense, particularly from a set piece point of view. And that's really hard to do, by the way, guys, because, as we saw, in that Wallabies game, yesterday, the All Blacks defended them pretty well, actually, from that front in terms of those set pieces off the maul. And, the Boks were able to kind of do that in New Zealand. So I just thought it was even more impressive. So for that reason, I think Malcolm Marks deserves to be my hooker. I guess, in the locks, I've gone with the likes of, Eben Smith as well as Scott Barrett. I think there's no doubt in this. I don't think there's really another lock that comes close. I think these two were definitely by far the best locks in this competition. I guess you could probably say, Will Skelton, I think, had a good competition overall. I think he's probably the next in line, I'd say, out of any of the locks I can consider. But these two by far were the best. Eben Smith, unbelievable. Again, he didn't play, I believe, did he play the opening round? I think he did play the opening round. But again, he just wasn't, he had a good game overall in terms of set piece against the Wallabies. Again, obviously, with his father's passing, he really kind of stepped it up really against the All Blacks in that one. Had a good performance, I thought. It wasn't really bad in terms of set pieces. Again, you could always say that Scott Barrett and Retallick really did disrupt him in that one. So out of the 3 games he played, it was probably the one that it wasn't his best. But again, he kind of proved it at the end against the Pumas yesterday, obviously getting a try. He had a good competition overall. But Scott Barrett, oh my word. Guys, I could be wrong in saying this, and I don't believe I'll make a video on this anyway in terms of my player of the tournament and, MVP and, young player of the tournaments. But if I had to give an MVP of the tournament and just player of the tournament, I would actually give it to Scott Barrett. I think he was just remarkable. I think it's this competition alone showcased why I believe he is actually the best lock for the All Blacks. And that's a tough thing to say, by the way, guys, because you're going against the likes of Retallick and Sam Whitelock. And again, maybe it's because Sam Whitelock obviously is coming back from an injury. He didn't get as many minutes, and that obviously allowed Scott Barrett to have this opportunity, have the opportunity he was given. But man, he took that definitely. He was just unbelievable. He was sensational. He was just all over the place against the Wallabies, and he was remarkable against the Pumas as well as the Boks. So yeah, he's definitely definitely has to be in this side. I guess in terms of the loose forwards I've selected here, guys, I've gone with the likes of Shana Mazel, number 6. I've gone with actually Juan Martin Gonzalez, number 7, but that's only reason because I wanted to put Pablo Matera here, and I feel like he had to be in the squad because there's not really another loose forward that I thought really stood out, and I think the only other one I was considering was maybe Quagga Smith because I thought he did a pretty good tournament overall, I'd say, for the Boks. But I just think, Shana Vazel has to be in, definitely guaranteed. He was just brilliant throughout the whole competition itself. You got 2 tries to it, probably the best player really for the All Blacks in the second game against the Box. And yeah, just obviously kind of, even added more to it in that Wallabies game, obviously with the first try in the game. So yeah, he definitely has to be in it. And yeah, after this tournament, he really has now confirmed himself as the number 6. So yeah, I think he has to be in this team tournaments here. Again, I know Juan Martin Gonzalez doesn't normally play 7. He played mostly 8 in the competition. I could have actually switched that around, to be perfectly honest, with Pablo Matera, but Matera probably normally plays more as a 6 or 8, so I just put him in there. And Juan Martin Gonzalez really can play anywhere, so that's the reason I put him at 7. But Juan Martin Gonzalez, just an absolute beast. He's improving year after year. I mean, he really came onto the scene last year with his performances, but he has just taken it to another level, I think. And yeah, his performance against the Wallabies really is what stood out to me. He got that final try, obviously, to secure the Pumas a win really in Australia, which is a massive achievement really. So yeah, credit to him, and I just think he's a great player. And if I'm not mistaken, actually, he just signed with the Saracens. So yeah, they've got a good player on his hand. They've got a great player, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, Pablo Matera had to be in. I mean, if you look at the stats alone, he's one of the best players actually in a lot of the categories. But I think in terms of like tackling, he's up there as well. In terms of carries, post-meter contacts, like yeah, he's up there for sure. So yeah, he had to be in the squad, and he's just so reliable as a player. And yeah, he's the captain of the. He's essentially. Oh, is he the captain? Maybe it's Juan Martin. Yeah, no, actually no. I think it's still. Is it? See, this is actually where I forget. So let me know in the comments if I'm right with this. Who's the captain? Is it Pablo Matera or is it Julio Montoya? I know this is really a weird question. I'm just kind of going blank here, but I think it's Julio Montoya, but I could be wrong there. But no, again, he just adds another leadership quality to this team. So that's another reason why I added him. But yeah, I guess in terms of the back line here, I've gone with Aaron Smith as my number 9. I don't think there's any doubt on that one because he got 2 tries in this competition. Was by far and away the best scrum half in this competition. So there's not much to be said about him. Just sensational. And it's incredible because this is now his last Rugby Championship. So yeah, he definitely ended it on a high for sure. But his partner in crime, and who have actually gone with the number 10, is actually Santiago Gutierrez. And this is a tough, guys, because there's actually a lot of names I could have put in this conversation because, I think for all sides, I think everyone had a standout player, actually, because, Richard Mo'unga, first of all, very impressive against the Box, I thought, in that win. I think he got 20 points at the end of the day, so that's pretty impressive to have. But I just think, because he didn't play that first against the Pumas, it kind of let him down, and obviously not playing all the minutes he could have played. And against the, against the Wallabies, I thought he was very impressive, but it wasn't as good as his performance against the Box, I think. And when I'm comparing him to the other fly-halves, I mean, there was Manny Libok, who I thought was pretty impressive. Again, he didn't play one of the games, I believe, against the All Blacks, if I'm not mistaken. And just that's kind of what let him down, I guess, in terms of my selection here. And again, he was pretty impressive, actually, because if you remember, he's covering Andre Pollard for the meantime, guys. And I think he put up a good display throughout most of this Rugby Championship. So, yeah, definitely, applaudable for sure. And I think from Wallaby perspective, I'd say even Carter Gordon. I thought, he really stood out. Really, I'd say, like, if I had to say the young player of the competition, I'd probably say it's Carter Gordon. He's the one player who I really thought stood out within this competition. Just got to have his name really into the international scene now. So really just interested to see how he goes on further. But yeah, no, I've gone with Santiago Gutierrez here. I just think he played all 3 games. He was just remarkable, I thought, throughout all 3 of them. Really he is really like the playmaker of this Argentinian side. And I think he had all 3 games he played was pretty good in all of them. Didn't really have a bad game overall. And yeah, just obviously kept it off with that win against the Wallabies. So yeah, I think Caceres is the right option there. Again, I could have gone with Richard Mo'unga here, but you also have to keep in mind there's obviously a lot of All Blacks that may select there. So that's another reason why. But no, I guess in terms of the centers I've gone with, again, this is like I was saying, I've gone with a lot of All Blacks here, which is expected, but I've gone with an All Black combination there with Jordy Barrett as well as Ray Kalani. It just makes sense. I mean, the Box really, in terms of the center combinations, were switching in and out, so I couldn't really choose any of them, in my opinion. And none of them were really up to the form compared to these guys. With Argentina, I mean, Cinti, I thought was pretty impressive. Lucio Cinti, he's probably one I had in mind. I guess from a Wallaby perspective, I guess Karevi was probably the standout one because, Leonard Cattell, of course, got injured. But, yeah, I think you have to go Jordy Barrett and Reiko. I mean, Jordy Barrett was probably one of the best players, actually, against the Pumas in the opening round. in Argentina, and then Reiko was just unbelievable, obviously against the Wallabies in that game yesterday. So yeah, I got to go with Reiko here. I think it makes a lot of sense to go with these two. So that's my central combination there for this team of the tournament. But yeah, for the final three in terms of this team of the tournament, the back three, I've gone with Curly Lorenza as my number 11, Will Jordan as my number 14, and Beauden Barrett as number 15. I just think it just makes sense to go with these three. I don't think there's not really going to be a debate, I think, between these three, because Curly Lorenza, you got a hat trick of tries, which is unbelievable, a hat trick against the Wallabies, which is just remarkable. And again, he didn't play, I believe. Did he play in that second game? I'm not sure if he did. I don't believe he did. No, he did actually. Was it Curly Lorenza? See, this is where I'm maybe mistaken. No, it was Mimpimpi and Cheslin. And then, yeah, for the final game is Curly Lorenza and Cheslin Kobe. So, yeah, no. He played in that final game. Didn't get a try, but still was pretty impactful, in my opinion. And then, yeah, for Will Jordan, one of the players of the tournament, probably, in my opinion, I'd probably say second on the list. I'd say in terms of the impact he made for his side. I'd say Will Jordan was just remarkable, obviously, in that game against the Wallabies. Got a try for himself. And, yeah, against the Bucks, he got that pretty impressive try, with Beauden Barrett, obviously, the player. At 15, I chosen kind of like just a little bit of a dummy, and then obviously kicked it off towards Will Jordan on the right hand side. He caught it and kind of really confirmed that win against the Bucks, which is a massive achievement. Yeah, probably the best performance really for the All Blacks in a while. So yeah, no, I think Will Jordan had to be in. Just a great player to have. And again, I know he didn't play the opening game against Argentina, but he was just too good in those two games against Bucks and the Wallabies to leave him out. So happy to go with him. And then yeah, Beauden Barrett, just a player who a lot of people really underestimated what he can do in that position. Again, a lot of just criticism actually towards him, I guess, in the Super Rugby season, which I guess is understandable because he wasn't making the impact he was, you could say, compared to the previous year for the Blues. But hey, my gosh, he definitely proved everyone wrong, I think, in this All Blacks, just this All Blacks win really in this Rugby Championship, because he was one of the best players, I think, overall. Very consistent. I mean, I'd say probably the best player in that, yeah, he's one of the best players really in that Pumas game, really. The Bucks game, he was just unbelievable. Really, that second pivot in terms of, I guess, like acting a little bit in terms of the playmaking. Obviously, got that assist for Will Jordan, like I mentioned. And yeah, had just a standard, just kind of. I'm not going to say he was incredible, but he just had, he had a solid performance really against the Wallabies. So nothing wrong from him in that perspective. So yeah, I think overall just really good within that jersey. Again, I do want to give an honorable mention towards Willie LaRue because I thought he was pretty impressive for the Bucks. But I think just Beauden Barrett just edges it for me. But yeah. That's my team in the tournament there for the Rugby Championship, guys, for 2023. Let me know in the comments, by the way, what you guys think. And let me know what your team in the tournament would be, because I'm very fascinated to see what you guys think, though. And yeah, just like I said beforehand, guys, I will be giving you guys my World Cup prediction most likely next week. So keep an eye out for that, because this is my final prediction. So I'm hoping that can get, just hope you guys also enjoyed that one. And just hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, guys, like I said beforehand, let's get the 1K. Click the subscribe button, guys. Like the video, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Bill, I'm in the mood for a